Welcome to the Plant Report, a radio show that educates about the green world one plant at a time. The Plant Report is a new educational resource about plants, herbal medicine, ethnobotany, and the human-plant relationship. Listen to our podcast, read our blog, watch our videos, and learn from experts and the plants. The Plant Report is a project of Sustainable World Radio and is hosted by Jill Cloutier. Thanks for listening to the Plant Report because every plant has a story. Our plant today is Ashitaba, Latin name
Angelica Kiski Koizumi.
A member of the Apiaceae family, Ashitaba is also known as tomorrow's leaf because of its amazing regenerative properties. Supposedly, if you pick a leaf off a plant, there will be a new one the next day. Ashitaba grows to about 4 or 5 feet or 1.5 meters high. Ashitaba has ribbed stems, a long root, and greenish-white flowers that usually bloom the second year. To add Ashitaba to your diet, you can eat the leaves and stalks raw or cooked and use the roots for pickling. You can also dry the leaves and stalks for tea and grind them up and use them in juices, smoothies, and other foods for added nutritional value. If you'd like to grow your own Ashitaba, you can plant the seeds directly into a nice soil mix like I did, but unfortunately my germination rate was 0. So I did some research and learned that Ashitaba likes to be cold stratified. So if you live in a cool climate, go ahead and plant the seeds into a flat or pots and put them outside. If you don't live in a cool climate, you can mimic the cold by using your refrigerator or possibly cold cellar. What you would do is put the seed in a moist medium, something that would stay moist, not really wet, and then put it in the refrigerator or cold cellar for 30 days. Once the 30 days is over, then you can plant the seed. Many growers recommend soaking the seed in chlorine-free water before you plant them. So if your water is really chlorinated, you can let it sit out for 24 hours and then put the seed in, let it soak, and then plant it. I learned more about this remarkable plant when I visited the booth of John Glavis, a botanical researcher, organic gardener, and owner of Botierra Biodiversity Research Gardens. I met John at the Heirloom Expo in Sonoma, California, so you'll hear a bit of a crowd behind John, but I think that his message comes out loud and clear. Can you tell us the name and Latin name of this plant?
Yes, this is an Angelica Kiski. It's also known as Ashitaba, which is in Japanese, it means tomorrow's leaf. It's a very, very exciting plant in that the plant grows in the Ishu Islands of Japan, southern Japan. It has a history there that goes way back, but virtually unknown in the United States. We're now growing it for the first time in this country. We've successfully grown the seeds and we're now making it available to people. This plant is probably one of the most amazing medicinals I've ever come across in my career. It has an earth growth factor which helps with degenerative nerve disease. In Japan, they grow Ashitaba and use it for just about everything. You can find it in the juice bars called Ashita bars in the underground of the subway system in Tokyo. They also dry the leaf and powder it, make ice cream, make tea. They use the leaves for a tempura. Any way they can get it into their bodies, basically. But the thing that I found growing it and using it myself is that it's changing my health tremendously. I'm 63 this year. I feel 35, and I'm watching my skin heal. I'm utilizing it too. And I really think it's one of the most important discoveries of my career as a botanist because it has chalcone, which is an antioxidant, and this antioxidant, which is really not found in any other plants. There's small amounts in hops and a few other places, but this one has a yellow sap. When you cut the leaf, it just oozes this yellow, almost looks like latex paint, and you wonder whether you want to eat that or not. But you really do. It's a very bitter flavor, but the thing that it does is it heals the liver, it goes into your system, tries to figure out what's wrong and tries to help you. And the thing that I feel about Ashitaba also is that I just read recently that it seems to be helping with radiation damage to cells and certainly interestingly, from Japan. The fact is, the herbs and the plants that we have, the sacred connection with plants, is really our best bet to move forward in the world that we're in, and that's what the heirloom exhibition here is really about. I work with Baker Seed, and I'm on a nonprofit board with them, and they're doing wonderful work in the world. So I think the thing that's most important right now is that the sense of heirloom connection, sacred medicine levels of growing our own medicine, growing our own food, trying to come into contact with direct relationship with the earth and each other. You know, the nourishing traditions of our healing are not just what we put in our mouth, but sometimes is as much about what comes out of our mouths.
Can you tell me a bit about your company here and what the name of it is and where you're located?
Sure. I have a biodiversity research center called Botierra. I started this about 7 years ago, and the idea is to trial indigenous food plants and medicine plants from all over the world to see what grows in the maritime climate of Westmoreland County. We've discovered maybe 12, 14 plants now that we can use, and we're rebuilding a food system based on high nutrition plants, including quinoa, tree tomatoes, all these different Andean plants that I discovered when I was down in Ecuador doing research. I noticed that the high altitudes of the Andean plateau are very similar to the coastal maritime climate. And so I was wondering why you can't grow these plants where I am, and sure enough you can. So what we're doing now is we're incorporating all of these plants into the plants that we know about that are really good, like kales and things like this, and we're starting to use an indigenous model where we can get people behind people with small gardens in their backyard that'll pool all of the food together for the community, so that if anybody has a crop failure, they'll be covered. It's our insurance. And then also just to really believe that, you know, I have my grandchildren hand threshing quinoa. I have, you know, we're committed to the indigenous lifestyle. So it's getting the oil and the money out of our food is our goal, and then also to make a direct and immediate relationship commitment to the community in how that food is grown.
And if someone wanted to contact you, how would they find you?
My email is heirloomhuman@gmail.com, so that's not too hard to remember. And we're really encouraging everyone out in the world to do their own research and begin their journey into a direct relationship with the earth, so that we can begin to really make I heard a great term the other day. Instead of shapeshifters, I like the idea of a shift shaper. You know, so we are all shift shapers, and we're trying to create this shift we need to go through. And I feel very strongly that, you know, it's a very dangerous time on the planet, but at the same time, you know, it's bringing forth the necessity of our changes, the evolution that we need to go through.
And do you feel plants are really there to help support us in this transition?
Yes, indeed. I mean, I think nature in general has been waiting for us. It's missing us. You know, we somehow got off on this very temporary road of isolating ourselves and separating ourselves from nature. And I think all of nature is now pointing out that we can't do that any longer. It's getting very critical. Things are extremely dangerous. None of us know what the future is, but we do know that if we can maintain, you know, and heal ourselves and have that direct relationship with the earth, that's going to be our best way through this.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Thanks for listening to The Plant Report. The Plant Report is produced by Jill Cloutier and is a project of Sustainable World Radio. For more podcasts about plants, permaculture, and ecology, visit our website, sustainableworldradio.com, and you can also find us on iTunes, Facebook, and Twitter. The Plant Report is created for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any health condition. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to thank the plants for everything they do.